All right, what is up? Back with another quick video. This video is going to be on how people will try to shame you to death, like literally shame you to death. Now, this first article we got here is talking about ejaculation frequency in prostate cancer. And I mean, without reading through the whole thing, basically says that men that ejaculate more than 21 times per month are about 30% less likely to develop prostate cancer. And it's just a correlation. They don't know why, because obviously we still don't know exactly why cancers form. They just do. Some people are genetically predisposed to it. But they're, postulating that it's because the prostate obviously is part of the reproductive organ, and therefore frequent use of it is part of the process of being a guy. And I mean, you could go like the Tai Chi route and say, you're blocking your chi flow, and that's messing up your body because your chi is supposed to flow properly. Makes more sense when they say it that way. Sometimes modern science doesn't make sense. They're like, well, we don't know why you're getting sick because you're not using the part of your body that you're supposed to be using, but we'll figure it out someday. Someday we'll figure it out. Just like gravity, we'll figure it out someday. But, you'll hear people across the internet calling you a gooner, telling you you're doing something wrong, telling you to feel shame. You're a gooner. Oh, what a demon, a Coomer gremlin demon, whatever. Right. Not to mention the fact, yeah, we'll do the women are the real gooners, right? What happens when men don't have access to sex, right? They like level up like 40 times, like, oh, women don't want to sleep with us. We got to level up like 40 times, maximize our maximization. Or they're like, okay, whatever, don't care. When women can't have access to casual sex, i.e., abortion and government sponsored birth control pills and all types of other stuff, they literally take to the streets, put on pussy hats, and threaten the extinction of humanity until they get their casual sex. But men are the real gooners, right? When you will literally have more of a chance of dying if you don't do it. And then you'll have people shaming you, telling you, oh, you're a bad guy. Oh, you should feel bad about doing something that's going to stop you from getting sick. Feel bad about it, right? Because it's in some ancient book that was written thousands of years ago. All right, let's look at another thing people like to shame you about. Now, we'll even look at the negative aspects first of this, where they're talking about basically sports performance and cannabis use and just overall cannabis use, right? Now, in this test, and this is from meta study, so please, this is meta study. It's on PubMed. I'll put the link in the description. Right. Basically, when they gave people the highest level dose of cannabis possible, right? During the maximal dosing phase, 2 out of 12 male participants were unable to complete exercise tasks due to dizziness. Right? That means when they were overdosing, basically. They found that dizziness was common in 2 out of 29 participants in this other study, right? But people will shame you for smoking trees. And then it's like, how many people died from fentanyl? 76,516 just in 1 year. But doctors prescribe this, right? It's the same thing, right? It's like, oh, the Chinese are bringing it in. What? Doctors prescribe this. Doctors prescribe a drug that supposedly if a cop touches it, he can die. But doctors prescribe this, and 76,000 people per year die from it. Meanwhile, 2 out of 29 people got dizzy after overdosing on weed. And they want you to feel bad about doing weed. Get the hell out of here. Oh, you're a degenerate. You're this, you're that. No. Stop it. Okay. Chronic use. Raise your blood pressure slightly. No, wait. It increases your heart rate but lowers your blood pressure. So, it says here that cannabis consumption may reduce exercise pain and thus increase endurance, but chronic use doesn't do that. Most people using cannabis with exercise reported reduced pain and or increased their enjoyment of the exercise activity. Multiple studies. Fentanyl kills 76,000 people per year, but doctors prescribe that. And I don't hear anybody shaming any doctors or shaming anybody for taking fentanyl that was prescribed by their doctor, even though they could easily become addicted to it and then die from an overdose death. It's kind of like it's almost like a gateway drug, right? Included studies report that body fat percentage and body mass index between groups found that cannabis users have significantly lower body mass index and body fat percentage, a trend which is observed in most epidemiological studies. Right? And then what's the number one cause of death in the United States is heart disease caused by being obese. Right? People will they will try to shame you to death, literally shame you to death. They will sit there shaming you and calling you names and calling you a degenerate and a gooner and all these other things until you die. Until you die. And then they won't care. And you'll be dead. And they'll still be calling you names. They'll be like, oh, look, he died because he's a gooner and a degenerate. Just stop it. Just stop it, please. Like, seriously. Like, you're completely wrong. Completely wrong. When will you stop? Never. Because you won't. You won't. Right. Then this one guy tried to do a test to prove that it negatively affected boxers. But then when they actually looked at the ratio, right, the authors concluded that cannabinoids reduced fighter efficacy based on fewer head strikes. However, a comparison of attempted strikes versus scored strikes revealed greater efficiency via success ratio. And then they're like, yeah, we need to look into this more because nobody's allowed to do any tests on it because it's illegal. Two studies included in this review employed self-reported measures of physical activity levels, finding no significant differences between cannabis users and non-users. Consistent with analysis of accelerometer detected physical activity, which determined no difference in light or moderate vigorous physical activity between 249 cannabis users and 1,843 non-users. Contrastingly, several longitudinal studies found significantly more cannabis users meeting WHO guidelines for physical activity than non-users. They will shame you to death if you listen to them. They will shame you to death. And then they will continue to call you names that they made up for no reason because they don't like you. Meanwhile, they're completely and utterly wrong. Completely wrong. And they'll just go on shaming you and making fun of you, and they're wrong. This is what you got to understand. They're wrong. And they're trying to make fun of you. And they don't know what they're talking about. That's the worst part about it. This is what I'm saying. You can come up with other stuff too, probably. Where you got to do something. You got to get to work. Some leftist is telling you, you driving your car is going to kill the environment. Okay, but if you don't drive your car to work, you're going to die. But they'll shame you. They'll sit there and shame you and tell you, oh, better watch out, man. The fossil fuels, the dinosaurs, the dinosaur bones in the ground, right? That melted down. We're all going to die. But you'll die if you don't get to work, though. If you don't drive your car to work, you'll die anyway. So what does it matter if, you know, the whole world's going to like light on fire or whatever? Right? There's a bunch of stuff. They'll just keep shaming you. They'll keep calling you names and saying that you're wrong when you're right. And there'll be tons of people, thousands of people, millions of people that agree with them. Millions. And they'll call you names, and they'll make fun of you, and they'll say that you're stupid, and they're wrong. Completely wrong. Completely and utterly wrong. And then they won't pull up the studies, and they won't look at it, and they'll just continue to shame you because they're dumb. So don't listen to them. And they tell you, I mean, look, if you want to do NoFap, that's your thing. But when people try to call you a gooner and tell you, no. And that's part of the reason why they can't do tests on it, because everybody's trying to shame you for doing it. Same here, right? They're literally saying that studies found that significantly more cannabis users meet World Health Organization guidelines for physical activity than non-users. And they're saying that smoking cigarettes was like way worse for you. Basically, the only people that had negative results were people that smoke cigarettes. Right? Smoke weed and cigarettes, that's bad. Masturbating, it's fine. Don't let them tell you you can't do it. You shouldn't do it. In fact, you probably should do it if you're not having sex regularly. But, you know, modern scientists can't figure out what Chinese people figured out like 3,000 years ago. Your chi just has to flow. That's just how it works. So that's the video. Thanks for watching. If you did, have a good day, and don't let them shame you to death.